What's up YouTube? In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Alienware 27-inch monitor that's 360 Hz in 1440p with a 0.03 millisecond response time. That's right, so sit back, relax, and we'll get right into this. Alright, here we go. Now, my box came with a little bit of damage, is what she said. But no, really, mine actually did come with a little bit of damage. My monitor was almost hanging out. This is definitely not how you're supposed to open this, but like I say, mine was already ripped, so. Alright, so here you go. Here's some instructions. There is their test results. What do we got here? Looks like a little Alienware box. Okay, this is an instruction manual, it looks like. Of course, you get a cleaning rag. Or a microfiber cleaning cloth. Okay, so this looks like you get a this is a DP to USB-C. This is a DP to DP, and then you've got what appears to be a printer cable to USB, which I think this is for updating the firmware. Over here you've got your power cord. This is the shield that hides the wiring. I'm just going to make a nice unorganized pile over there. I would think that this is the base. This is how we'll be setting it up for now, but we will definitely be putting it on some sort of mount later. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. Oh, that's neat. That's just like how my camera stuff works. Okay, sweet. I'm going to assume that this is the stem. This stuff nowadays comes so nicely engineered so that it's very easy for the end user to put together. It used to be that there was a ton of little screws and crap. Hated that. How dare you inconvenience my life? How dare you? How dare you? If you know, you know. Well, hopefully you can't hear my wife freaking out at my dog in the background. Up here is this. Again, this thing just clicks in super easy like. This screws in, but there is like a little fly nut or wing nut style thing on the other side. Oh boy. And look at this marvel of engineering. Now we're getting to the meat and the potatoes here, guys. So, if you want to assume very little risk, what I would suggest doing and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy here and I'm going to put it. The nice thing is this only goes one way. Can't do this backwards. Oh, I like having cable routing. That's pretty cool. So then you just turn this little guy. See right here? I flip that little wing nut up. If you can see that on there. And then I'm just going to drive this guy home. And I got to be careful. I got contractor fingers. I can break stuff, so I'm just going to go a little past height. You're going to flip that thing out of the way so it sits flat there. As you can see now, what you have is the actual pedestal. So that when you pull the monitor out of the box, you are not just putting the screen down and scratching your screen. I hear people talk about getting these things scratched out of the box, and I'm sure that maybe is a thing, but you know what I think it's probably more related to? Just not being very careful with your stuff when you're pulling it out of the box. So did you see that? How that just clicked in? That may have been a little aggressive, but as you'll see. Alright, so this thing, if you look from the side here, this thing's got some pretty impressive tilt. Now, it does go up and down, but in typical fashion I find Alienwares don't go up very high, so at least with this base it would be easy to put it on a stand. So yeah, it's actually got some, you can tilt it a little bit each way, which is really nice without the base moving. The base right now is sitting still, so that is pretty cool. And it's also, I don't know if you can see it, but it's almost like leaned back slightly, which is, I'm not sure if I like that or not yet, but we'll find out. So back to the front of the panel, as you can see people complaining about their panel coming scratched. We're gonna either put that to bed or we're gonna confirm that right now. Now I hate this tape that they use, you get little stringers stuck on here sometimes. Here, hey. There we go, it's the movie magic. So, this thing comes pretty heavily protected, so not to say that people are incorrect that they're receiving a thing with damage. Yeah, you can really see how much it, oh, would you look at that? I didn't know it did that. That's cool. Let's see if this monitor, this panel came with any. Oh, I see, okay. I mean, I'm gonna say that probably most likely people will do something stupid like not putting your stand on. Oh, that's a good noise. Oh, love it. You may want to hold on to this in the future if you ever want to sell your monitor or anything. It's always good to hold on to the box and stuff. So let me just get this in a position where we can maybe see with some light. This is really nice. Okay, it's really gonna be hard for me to do this so that you guys can see, but well, it's official. Mine did not come with any scratches, so again, like, let's just go through maybe some safe practice a little bit here, guys, because that may be what's causing some damage. Not saying they're not coming damaged. I can't speak to that because I'm not there. But what I will say is this one came uber protected to the point where if there was a scratch under all that, I don't know what must have happened in production, and that seems crazy that they wouldn't have flagged it with such a big reputable company like Alienware. So I'm skeptical, but like I say, I'm not trying to deny anybody's claim. If it happened, it happened. But to me, what I can speak to is the example that I have in front of me, which is the one that came to me, and the box was beaten to crap in shipping, but it actually is in absolutely fine shape. So we're gonna get into some settings in a minute here. Now, if you are gonna follow along with instructions, which highly recommended, you need to plug in from a USB Speed 2 port, and then you've got this printer port here, and you plug that into the monitor. And then you run your DP to the back of your monitor, which is plugged in over here. So it comes with a short one. I used my own because they're longer and I've got a different setup. So yeah, you plug in these two and then plug in your power cord on both ends. Okay, so it's going to be very hard for you to see down there, but I actually already have Alienware Command Center for my other monitor, so it's installing the necessary files, which I had already downloaded onto this computer already, because you need to do two things. You need to do drivers, and then you need to do a firmware update. And then we're just going to type in the monitor type, so the AW2725. And then if you go to drivers first and do that, and now I'm going to go to firmware here, and I'm going to do it through Dell because that's where I purchased it through. So again, we're plugged into the back through this cable here that's running to a USB port on my PC and running into like a printer port on the back. So I'm going to click update. It says it takes up to 5 minutes. So what we got going on here is underneath your monitor there's a little joystick, and if you push it like a button, it'll bring up this menu here, and you can go, if I'm going left right now, it's into preset modes, input source, brightness contrast, alien vision, and dark stabilizer again. If I pull it towards me, it exits the menu. There's also a bar that appears at the top with the selected menus in it. However, I'm unable to show that as my camera is getting really glitchy at a far enough distance to record the whole monitor, so apologies, but it basically says Alienware 27-inch monitor at the top. It indicates preset modes, It indicates smart HDR setting. It indicates panel health with a color-coded circle, meaning it's green now, so it's good. So as your panel needs service or maintenance, it will change color. And you have the other settings where dark stabilizer, where I'm at now. But anyways, this was working earlier. And you can turn Alien Vision on, which that was those presets that we were looking through. I don't know why Game Enhance mode is doing the same thing but not working. So reset game. Now we can go down over here, input sources. I'm in DP1. If you're using HDMI, which I don't know why you would, but you could select that here, or if you had multiple sources, you could select that here. So if you had multiple computers using the same monitor, you could do that here. Alien FX Lite, so this is mostly to do with what's on the back of your monitor, where you've got your logo and then the number. So I've currently got those set at blue and the color intensity at 17. You can adjust all that right here. Also what the power button does. It's honestly, I'm not going to go through all this because it isn't really that complicated. It's completely simple. Just click on each one and select what you would like as your preference. Aspect ratio, I've got it at 16:9. RGB, I didn't change any of this. Sharpness, Smart HDR is set on Game HDR, and I think this might be what's screwing me up in the other menu, right? But as you can see here, you can go to Game HDR, Custom HDR, Display HDR True Blacks, or HDR Peak 1000. So that's going to be for the peak brightness to get that 1000 nit. Or you can turn it off in eco mode or in desktop mode, right? So if you're just, this is probably pretty handy. Let's see what it does in desktop mode, right? Just dulls it down a little bit. So it's nothing crazy, but I mostly use mine for gaming. So it just enriches the colors, basically, is how I would describe that. Nice and handy. You can always reset your display when you screw up right there. Okay, so picture-in-picture mode, I'm just going to leave that off. I think that's for screen splitting. I'm not really into that. I've got a second monitor, so that's not really my gig. Menu, it just got your English, your transparency of this, the timers, how long it stays on for before it shuts off. I've got mine at 20 seconds. So now personalized shortcut keys. Yeah, this is where you could really kind of get into what you want to do with this. Preset mode, dark stabilizer. So I'm not going to mess with any of this because for me, I don't really care for that stuff very much. But USB charging off in standby mode. So what you could do is when your computer's in standby mode here, if you wanted to, you could turn it on. I just leave it off because I don't charge things generally like that. And when I do, I've got a little power hub that I use. So for me, that's not really relevant. For you, it may be. Okay, display info. So now this shows you what you've got here. There's your model, your input source, so you can see in DP1, your resolution, monitor capability, right? Yep, that's pretty standard stuff there. So you gotta go back, and then DCC CI, I'm not really sure what that is, so we won't touch on that. Panel maintenance, so here you go, you can do a pixel refresh or a panel refresh as that color of your panel health degrades. You may want to do that. I'm pretty sure it does its own. Now here's a good thing to check. You can check on their website for the current firmware and make sure you are running the same firmware. If you're purchasing this new, most likely you won't be, so you will have to do that as outlined earlier in the video. Service tag, self-diagnostic, you can run a screen test, and you can reset this, do a complete factory reset to the monitor right here. Oh man, this monitor is beautiful. So right now I'm getting 460 down to 420 frames per second on this. Definitely is the quality of the graphics are not there, but we're spiking 400s, so I could turn some settings up for sure. I'm like 430s right now, so if we want to get that to 360, that's pretty good. That's promising, because what that tells me is I could slowly go through the settings and spike up one thing at a time until we're averaging at that 360 or 350 mark, and I think that that will actually help, because what the big thing with this is it's supposed to make it so you can like acquisition targets a lot better and a lot faster and cleaner, and I mean, yeah, maybe wouldn't disagree so far. Well, that's all I got for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. If you did, hit a big thumbs up for me, and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, guys, the message is be kind to each other, and I will see every last one of you in the next video. Peace.